Hello, hello.
Hello, Alex.
Hello, Merlin. How are
I'm
you?
great. How are you?
Fantastic. I got a new light bulb, which I feel like you can understand is very exciting.
What kind of light
And
bulb did
that's
you get?
I don't know. It was handed to me and I was told, "Oh, this will work with the Philips Hue Hub." And I was like, "Oh, great." And it goes different colors, and it's just one of those things
Hmm.
where I didn't know it would change colors. And now I'm delighted
Who
by
handed it
it.
to you, if I could ask?
My dad.
Okay.
Actually.
And that,
I
did that
don't
happen this morning, Alex? When did that happen? When did you get a new light bulb?
About 20 minutes ago.
Did
So
you come in prepared? Was this something you planned to talk about? Was the light bulb?
I thought that you'd be excited by
I
my
am
light
very
bulb.
excited that you got a new light bulb.
I mean, I've never been able to not empathize exactly empathize with
Huh?
your enthusiasm for shower heads because I'm just like I like the end product. I don't care. But the act of I think installing something
Mm.
is not something I get to do. It's another little every little twist is a little bit of agency. I realize I'm like, oh, yay.
And so you got a Hue thing there, and this is like it's from a different company than Philips.
I have no idea. I truly
Okay,
didn't think it
cool
would work.
story. So your dad gave you a light bulb,
Yes.
and you feel that I am over concerned with my shower head that I buy once every 10 years. But that's a story that you had for me. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Was it? It
I
was.
feel like I've
Did
learned a lot
you
about myself
spend?
ultimately.
Did okay? Then you spent at least like 5 years talking about it. Showerhead appears in many
Do you
transcripts.
think I've gotten better at it? Is it something? Let
Better
me put it
what?
differently. Let me own it. Is this something that now concerns you less? Because apparently it was concerning you, and I apologize. I didn't know that.
Concerning? I mean, more like,
Oh,
oh
was this just a
gosh, if
bit?
it
Oh, you're just
came
doing a funny
out,
dig at me for no reason, right?
not a
Because
dig,
of an
because
absolutely trivial preference that I have that's expressed in a purchase every decade or so.
okay, I would
I just
also
want to be
call
clear
it
because I want to know
trivial.
what it is I got better at or not.
I didn't call it. Wow, I never said you got better at anything. I never said that it was bad at all. And
I'm
also,
glad I didn't cancel anything for this.
is it trivial to have that like tiny bit of delight? Don't you think every time you turn on your shower, like I succeeded at this, and now I won't have to do it for another decade?
I don't know. I mean, I'm the one here who needs to learn. You're the one who has the wholesome
Okay,
approach to just how it is.
I think I get excited about how happy
Yeah.
you are about your shower head before you.
Can you at all? Can you? Are you? You know? Can you ever see how I'm confused about what's happening? Can you ever see that I'm doing my best to like make it seem normal, but I'm ultimately very confused about what's happening? Can you ever tell? Is that
I know.
and if so, should I stop? Should I just always act like I know what's going on?
No, I don't know how you would have known that I was handed a light bulb
I don't
and
know why
then
I would need to know you were handed a light bulb because you don't know what it is. You're not sure why it's different, and then you use it as an opportunity to make fun of my preference in bathing.
whoa, this all right, one, I thought it was
You're the
showering.
one who loves
Again,
agency.
this is another
I'm
list.
asking you to
Yes,
stand behind the words that you hadn't really
I
thought about
am. I'm
before. They I'm
standing
not done
behind
yet.
it.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Oh,
Agency about
do
owning the
people
words
talk
that
over
just
each
came out
other?
of your mouth before you'd ever really thought about it because you didn't have anything planned.
I
And
did
then,
because
but
I
then, but
thought,
then you, as you say,
hmm?
doubled down on it by continuing to talk about it like it made sense. And now you're mad at me twice, and I don't know why.
I
I
thought,
merely like
well,
to shower.
I thought about three things.
I shower
One,
once a week whether
what
I need it or
is?
not.
I feel like it's a reference. Hold on. Nope. Is it from something? Is it from
What
something?
were you gonna say?
Is it from one? I thought when I say hello Merlin, what's his story that he'll only make fun of just enough that it will only take about 4 minutes
Oh my
and then
God,
we
I would
can
not have
get
made fun of it if it made any sense or had
it's
any context, Alex.
two. I
Do
thought
I do that? Do I
what is
start?
the
Do I start the
context?
show by coming in hot with some odd thing you don't know about?
Uh,
I think I don't. I think because I deliberately come in
depends.
and I try to just figure out where we are first. And now I know where we are, and that's where we are.
You said, "How are you?" And
I
as we've
did. I
discussed
did. I'm sorry.
many
I'll
times,
own that.
exactly, many times, if people ask me that question, I now answer. And you had asked, like, why?
What would be a
Why
more
am I
productive
like
way for
this?
me to start the show? Do you think?
Well, if you had notes, I would love to hear them. But I have
Right
a
at the
list.
top when we're
One
introducing it is not the show yet. Is that right?
is how should it? How should it start? Not about
The
how I
decorous
am,
thing to
which
say
you
would
asked.
be an answer rather than asking me a question.
Um, Uh,
How
one.
would you like to start? Let's do it now. Listen, here's the thing. This isn't the show. Of course it is. Let's start again. You ready? Tell me
Yeah.
how to start. Tell me how to start. We'll start.
I would start it with "This is Due by Friday," a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge: use your handwriting again. Now that is how I would start it. But
How did you want me to cut in the music for the way you went straight into that? How do you want me to cut that in? Because I'd have to cut you off mid sentence to drop in the music. How would I do that?
I mean, a mid just a hard stop.
We are
It's also what
recording. Hi, Alex.
Hey everybody, how are you, Merlin Man?
Fine.
No. Why are you fine?
Why am I fine? I'm functional. Like, I don't know. We are recording. Hey, Alex. One of the things I did this week with an LLM, because I'm watching The Crown, is I asked it to go in and analyze the roles of all the powerful men who help powerful women and men on that show. And it told me that the person I should really be looking for is not Tommy Lascelles, but Martin Charteris. And I thought that was interesting.
Is that Porchy or is that a real person?
No, Porchy's played by is Porchy.
Okay, all right. I
His name-
think about Porchy a lot.
You know, there's a mnemonic for remembering his name, which is that his name isn't actually Porchy. That's a nickname because his last name is Porchester. So if it helps as a mnemonic, his name is Porchy Porchester.
Porchy Porchester.
Porchy
and
Porchester. Oh, poor Porchy Porchester.
Ooh,
He's the guy who runs the horses.
yes, and I think he is a. I hope he is a wonderful man. At least the character of him is a
Yeah.
wonderful man.
It's outside the
And-
scope of this particular program to talk about that particular program and those people in real life. But I just wanted to talk about. I'm asking it to tell me what I should learn from the people who learn how to serve the crown. Is what I'm saying, and it went real deep. Porchy's on there, even though. Hang on.
I don't think he serves the crown. I apologize.
I mean,
for
technically, he serves Elizabeth mainly, but by
Yes.
extension, he serves the crown.
That's why I don't think he serves the crown. I think
In the very
he
first
is
episode,
great to Lilibeth.
Elizabeth's father says to Philip, "She's the job. Loving her is the job. Supporting her is the job." Yeah, Tommy Lascelles. Yeah, it probably bet on me. I think it's kind of a three-way tie. If you were going to have a holy trinity, you got Tommy Lascelles, Michael Adine, and Martin Charteris. But I think Martin Charteris is the one I should really be looking for.
I'm not familiar with Martin Charteris, which
You'll know
is
him
I guess I need
from-
to look for
You'll know him
as
from
well.
a lot. Sorry, go ahead.
I need to look for him as well. I don't remember Martin.
He's the younger guy. Tommy Lascelles is the guy with the mustache who has been with everybody. And Michael Charteris is more of like a season 4 and 5 character. He's really in the shit for a lot of the bad stuff, and he does a lot of the kind of the mopping up for the queen. I just thought that was interesting.
Is it because he like I suppose intentionally because both the the viewers kind of I think obviously now and the queen don't notice him as much like
Oh no, they
his
absolutely notice him.
mopping isn't
One way to look at
visible.
it is by the person whom that helper is ultimately, on whose behalf they're really working. Because you could really say that all these people work for the royal family in one way or another. That's true. But as far as motivation, Tommy Lascelles is more of like a gatekeeper. He protects the institutions. So sometimes he does things or causes things to happen kind of that are above his pay grade because he thinks it will help the institution, And I would say Charteris cares about the institution, but I think he's also just very personally loyal to her, more like a fixer kind of person.
I
Yeah.
wonder kind of if now, well, as I kind of rewatch The Crown, like you said, it's I don't think it's that useful or interesting to compare it to the actual humans, but remembering how upset the royal family and the crown, they weren't like, oh, pish wash the show because of the crown. They would never do that. But I wonder, like, it's not that it's an unflattering show, but it's a very vulnerable show in seeing, like, the little indignities, especially the indignities that the crown asks of people. Like, I mean, I keep going back to Porgy. I mean, he technically serves the crown, but
And all he does is take care of the
today,
horses. He had a pretty easy job, really.
he served, he could have, he tried to serve Lilibet, and that I mean, yeah, in terms of money, that was not his job. The job, you're right, it was the horses, and Philip's job was her. And
He's a Royal Naval Commander. That's his real job. He loves boats. He loves boats and not getting caught for sex. That's what he likes. And carriage racing. And his osteopath. And flying planes. And if the 1969 film about the royal family, which was later banned, is any indication, he's also deeply self-involved. The first act of it's called The Royal Family. A Year in the Life of the Royal Family, and it's featured in one of the episodes, the one where they have to like film the Queen Mother and the Queen while they're watching TV, and she's like, what are we doing? Why are we watching TV? Like, this is not how we spend our time, right? But no, he lands a helicopter, Philip lands a plane at one point. It's just all about how great Philip is. And in some ways, I think that whole film was a Philip joint, because he wanted to have something to do and he wanted to look a lot cooler, because he was kind of a vain man. He drove way longer than he should have been driving.
Oh,
remember those photos of him with the red eyes?
Oh, yep. They are, I guess, somewhat ironically, just burned into my retina. A lot of the royal family, again, oddly, a lot of images of the royal family in cars just burned into my memory. Do you remember when, like, it is a very small part of otherwise unremarkable episodes, but the Americans have landed on the moon, and he basically demands.
Or no, what's called Stardust? Yeah, that's the one where he's so restless about them going to the moon, so invigorated.
He is obsessed with getting a private audience with the astronauts.
Yes.
And he's like,
and it turns into Gift of the Magi. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And they're like, it was really hard. I mean, it was cool. Because their job is not to be the crown of the moon. Their job was to make sure a plane didn't crash. And this just still
never meet your inferiors. That's what they always say.
Oh.
Did you wanna go ahead and do your intro?
I did a great intro before. This is Due by Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge, use your handwriting. Again.
We're coming back to this challenge because we touched on it last week, but we thought there was still, as Alex likes to say, some meat on the bone. So we thought we'd come back and see if there's any more squeeze in the juice. And so we're going to talk more about this handwriting challenge. And it originally came out of this idea of me saying that it's not like a one-to-one relationship, but I do notice that I think my handwriting can get sort of sloppy and difficult to read when I'm a little stressed out. And that sometimes I think it's kind of interesting to be just a little bit more mindful about printing more slowly. And I felt like I felt slightly different, not better, but I just want to talk about that. I want to talk about what's the role of handwriting in your life? How do you feel about it? And the angle for Alexandra was, I know you like to keep track of how you feel from one to four. And so I wanted to see if this is one of those kinds of things where you can look at your handwriting and learn anything from it. But it sounded like you're enthused about it, so I'm just happy to hear whatever you think.
Handwriting does not play a large part in like my day-to-day life other than, I mean, my handwriting. my spouse's handwriting because he writes all over the apartment like it's, I mean, we might have as well have a Pepe Sylvia wall that's even bigger. And instead of string, it's like every post-it leads to another larger writing surface. Like
It's kind of like living in an escape room.
It's,
Or is it?
no, an escape room is easier to get out of.
I've
and
never been in one. I've seen them on TV.
They're fun in theory.
I don't think so. But no, and is that, if I could ask, when Maddie leaves notes like that, is that notes to you, notes to himself? Like, what are the kinds of things we're seeing on Post-it notes?
Both. That's part of why it's always like, is this a pure information moment? Like when I think I posted on the internet a picture of my cats and it said, "Matt, clean me." Sorry, my cats are drinking out of the sink, and below the sink there's
Let's stick our time with this.
Yeah.
You put something on the internet. Tell our listeners what you put on the internet and why.
It's
You put up a photograph of a cat with a note on it?
Of two cats on it drinking out of a sink, and it's one of those sinks where below it there's immediately, to hide the sink parts, like a little cabinet, and that's where the toothbrushing equipment goes. And
the toothbrushing equipment.
Yes, and there's what I didn't think of as prominent, but a prominent Post-it note saying, "Matt, clean me."
Okay.
And
it looks like it's about the cats?
No, it looks like it's about. I thought it looked like it was about the cabinet, and it also seemed passive aggressive.
Was it about the equipment? What was it about?
To clean it out, like clean the extra toothbrush stuff.
That's a note Matt left to himself, addressed to himself.
Yes. So that's now how I know that each note around the apartment
Sounds kind of like a madhouse.
Yeah. Well, no, because now they're addressed to certain people. That's all to say. Like,
but you got to go still read all of them to find out whether it's relevant or whether it's the product of some kind of disordered mind. And could that disordered mind be yours?
It's always a disorder between both of us. At least one mind is disordered.
Yes.
But
yes.
I take pictures of a lot of them because they're funny. And in photos, the software photos, I went and searched, Post-it note and then sticky note, and just I was looking through them and realized how different his handwriting is from
time to time or from yours.
For mine.
That's good. Like, that'll help you identify when it's a note from you to you or to you, from you.
I do not use Post-it notes myself. And so the first part
because of the colonial implications.
Yes, because of the stealing of the valor of the Post-it family.
Maybe you guys could pick a color. You have a color system where like some colors would be from one person to the other or about the other. It seems to me that with 6 to 12 colors, you could identify a lot of the kind of the cartology. You could create a kind of living table or atlas for this note-leaving culture you've created. Yeah, and no, that's insane. Again, I am not part of the culture. I am just adjacent. Okay. I am. You do live in the escape room.
Again, it is a.
Again,
there are colonial implications because I'm simply living in the Post-it world, and I respect it, and I've accepted
It's Frank
that I'm
Sinatra's
here.
world. We just live in it.
I receive the benefits of living in the Post-it madhouse, so I'm going to,
the noblesse oblige. So you end up becoming a servant to the notes, like a Michael A. Dean or a Martin Charter or Tommy Lassel's.
But no, because there was a color system for about a day, and then I couldn't remember what the colors were. So
see,
now, if
that's me. That's so me. That's me. Oh, I forgot that I forgot. It's ripped from today's headlines. Constantly realizing, I forgot. I added unnecessary complexity to this and didn't document it. Huh.
Yeah.
It's weird how that's getting in my way now.
and so now, because my spouse knows how much I hate having to read other people's handwriting. Not hate. Yes, I do hate it because often I read it and I think I don't understand what this person's trying to communicate, and now I've let them down. Kind of
that's heavy.
It is
that suggests that unexpected handwriting in your life can cause a lot of emotional tumult for you.
I mean, think about it.
What am I saying? But if you were to come across, a little bit of handwriting today that you didn't recognize, That could mess up your whole world.
Well, I try to avoid it. But
smart.
when even
I
in
refuse to read.
even in grade school and on up, like often a teacher would write on, even if it was good work and it's written on the page, but it's written in the scrawly cursive teacher handwriting, and we were still learning cursive back in the 2000s when everything was translucent. But it's still, it's like I don't know.
Talking about IMAX?
Yes, that was a reference to the broader popular culture where like everything was.
Oh, and that has to do with
translucent.
handwriting. Sorry, my bad.
Well, that's how the 2000s were, and
right. Sorry.
I know
I'm so sorry.
a lot of folks.
I wasn't there, so I wouldn't remember that. But I do remember now the translucency in the handwriting. I apologize. It's a tough time for everybody, honestly. Gulf War.
Would read
Diana was dead. Diana was dead by then. Diana was never alive when you were.
Yes, she was. Yes, she died the day that Digimon, the cartoon show.
Oh, sorry, I dropped a decade. So
air.
Diana was approximately 7 when you died.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. I was in Wisconsin. I was supposed to be watching Digimon, and then
Guy takes his dog for a walk in Paris. He calls non-un or whatever they have over there. I don't know how to say it. I didn't play flute. Remember that? We're up to that episode. We just finished the one with the Martin Bashir episode, so we're now getting up to those last two, which are a little tense.
I have not watched them because I'm like, there's
Billy and I watched the entire Martin Bashir, and you know what I'm referring to, the famous 1995 interview on BBC. It's like, even I think even by today's standards, it's pretty shocking what she talked about on TV at all, let alone on the BBC, which exists because of the magical largesse of the Queen, and it becomes part of the story. Is that, oh my God, I can't believe, no, the head of the BBC guy, he wants you out there doing a special TV special about the Queen's 70th birthday and how lucky we are to have her. Mm-hmm. And instead, they're like, we had another idea.
What is still shocking to me is the
eating disorder stuff.
Oh God!
I mean, she really put, and I'm just here to tell you, I don't know. Nobody wants to hear old Grandpa racism talk about like how the world used to be, but like it was pretty unusual to hear somebody who had recently been an HRH of the largest commonwealth in the world on TV talking about bulimia as a form of self-soothing.
Mm-hmm. That was the first time my parents had heard of what bulimia was, apparently.
And she on air contrasts it with anorexia and why she preferred it. I'm just here to tell you, that was not the kind of thing you expected to hear. And then like the reaction shots of all the royals watching it is just, and then, poor Chuck loses his mind. Camilla could barely finish her cigarette or her wig.
She killed Sirius Black, and now
is that her?
Yes, it is.
Was she a Draco Malfoy?
I apologize. I believe it was one actress before.
Oh wait. Well, no, Emerald Fennell did that movie. I think it's the first Camilla. I think it's Emerald Fennell, right? Isn't that the woman who did the recent movie?
So I think of her as.
We also might be talking about the later Margaret.
Yes, I was incorrect. I was thinking of Helen.
You're talking about if 4, 5, 6 in the later movies.
Yes.
When he goes backwards down the well in the tower.
Yes.
Can I tell you one of those inside house things we don't say out loud?
Mm-hmm.
I keep wondering if somebody like Lindsey Graham or Mitch McConnell will be revealed to be Sirius Black. And it turns out that the whole time they've been protecting Harry. And we just never knew it. Spoilers.
Okay. Who's Harry?
That little boy. I don't know. That little boy. He.
Oh yeah.
Who's Harry? Who's Harry is a good question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a lot of.
There's still a lot of grenades rolling around, Alex.
Oh God. What is shocking
Mitch
to me?
McConnell always looks like a turtle who's happy he just got caught.
Yes,
Hi.
he does.
Hi. That's all right. I'm just going to eat my grass real slow. Hey, you guys, I'm all right. I was just having a little rest. I'm all right. This is my wife. She was on another continent because I'm fine. Hey.
I suppose since I've asked
Beloved
a lot of people
characters.
this question, the beloved Mitch
character on
McConnell
Do by
and
Friday,
his wife,
Turtle Mitch McConnell.
all right. Oh, well, I believe we've discussed this, and Spencer, not Spencer Bledsoe.
Spencer Bledsoe.
What's his name?
Bledsoe.
Turtle. There was another turtle. Who was the
the other
charge
turtle?
of the press. What I loved him. He was great.
We're talking about
they
Alex. Are you talking about what kind of a person are you talking about?
We are talking about the
You were
beloved
talking
former
about-
Do by Friday character who was depicted by
Sean
Kevin
Spicer?
Budnick as a turtle
Sean
in one of
Spicer?
our illustration. But no, it was not Spencer. Sorry,
Spencer Spicer?
Yes, thank you. And he was.
I did say Sean Spicer, and you said that's not who it is. But then when I said Spencer
I
Spicer, you
misheard.
agreed it
I
was him.
apologize. Yes.
And Max said he was a turtle man because he had that big suit on.
Yes.
The collar
And a
was
lot
not
of-
for a man of his size. It looked like somebody shot him with a suit cannon.
No.
That is
Yeah,
not an act of violence. It's an act of fashion love.
That's.
Keep talking.
There was suits still aren't dead somehow. They look even more like turtle shells.
suits.
But the
That might be more like a hermit
Michelin-
crab where you could inhabit someone else's suit, like Todd Branch did.
Yeah, I wonder, kind of like the shoes Trump gave everybody.
Yeah,
It's like,
Florsheim's.
are these secretly a backup? Like they're all the same size?
The men, the suits, or the shoes?
The shoe, well, both, but the shoes were the most like definitive. We
Right.
know that they are all the same size. So, who picked
What?
the size?
They're
When
I don't
Trump,
think they're all the same size. He just buys them big for the men. He got little Marco big shoes. Big shoes, little Marco.
Sure, they were all the same size, which I thought was funniest. And he
Yeah.
chose size 14.
But somebody
And
on the
so,
Crown
you know-
killed Sirius Black.
Yes,
No,
well,
sorry, killed Dumbledore. Sirius Black.
But both the same person who killed.
Wait,
Dumbledore.
now I'm getting confused. Okay, so there's one with Avada Kedavra, and then like he goes down the well backwards slowly, and they milk that for 3 more movies. You're talking about the one like during the big magic fight where we lose all the Weasleys. Is that right?
That is the final like standoff. But she kills both Sirius Black and
Really?
Dumbledore.
I gotta look this up. That sounds hot.
I read a lot.
Jason
of
Isaacs was in that movie.
them. I don't remember. I kind of
He's Draco Daddy. He also played Zukov, General Zukov in The Death of Stalin.
oh,
He's also the bad guy on the OA. Spoilers.
they've got really good
Jason Isaacs is really good.
spoilers. When
Was that your
when
River
you were
song?
watching that,
No, in Chicago they don't have a word for song.
no. That was I think it was my Snape a little bit. Now that I think of it, just like spoilers.
Backpacks outside. No, I can't see. It's like the way Emma Corrin gets into Diana by saying, "All right, I need to get in. I need to get in. Backpacks outside. Kids with money only."
We are circling back to Diana. Do you?
Yep.
I don't know if you recall watching this interview. I don't remember that.
big deal.
But do you remember when it came out that they had basically faked the evidence that she?
Oh, I don't think that was known at. If that was known, every time I watch that episode, what Alex is referring to is an episode where a show called Panorama, which is a show on BBC, blah blah blah. It's it's a season 5 probably, but the idea was that supposedly, according to the TV show The Crown, Martin Bashir had used some people to jazz up evidence that suggests that the people who were being disloyal to Diana were being operated and funded basically by MI5 via Prince Charles. Yes?
Yes.
To basically show that the person who had gotten a very trusted domestic servant to rat her out or to like report on her, am I kind of getting it right? But they made some bank deposit stuff up to make it look like so they could prove to Diana's brother, who was very protective of her through the end and beyond, to like say, oh, we should talk to Diana because you don't know how hard they're going for Diana, and we can prove it.
It was
Even though they probably were doing a
terrifying.
lot of that jazz.
Right. But the way that they tricked her was, and the way that they like just inserted the amount of fear into the her, but her family and her friends, because the only way they were able
Yes.
to prove to her that, oh, look, they have this information is because they had faked these documents, showed them to, of like, look it, here's a hit letter that we found from M5. Like, it was like, holy fuck, this rogue journalist. And I mean, I had known that this happened because it was talked about vaguely in journalism school as like, hey, don't be like this. But after I watched that episode, I'm like, it couldn't have been that bad, right? No one would have. No, what they did was just horribly, I would call it like a sociopathic thing to do that they did to this woman and her friends and family.
But really kind of, and just, I think I know what you're talking about, but just to maybe put a little bit more poison on the tip, such a deliberately chosen tactical approach to exploiting her vulnerability in such a way that she would be left with little choice but to come back screaming.
Yes, because she had said over and over, I'm not going to do this interview. And she already knew that she was being smeared in the press by the royal family. Like, she knew that, they were just doing everything to shut her up and just make her look like a slut and, all the typical Diana things that people remember.
Right. The military guy she was
oh
with.
God. And no, they really like cooked up insane. Who knows if like this was the amount of what was actually happening, but it was like this was the same organization that was taking down the Nazis and doing Operation Mincemeat. I mean, that's not a great example of something.
That's definitely a movie.
That is a movie.
I don't think it was the BBC that was conducting it, but
no,
it was involved in English media for sure.
And
has Tom Wambsgans.
No, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They were like they were essentially.
I'm not sure how much how illuminating that'll be to the listener who doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, what I am saying is that a journalist at the BBC pretended that he was the or made up a bunch of documents that were from M5, which the best American equivalent, if people don't know, is the CIA, kind of.
An even better British equivalent would be MI5.
Did I say
M5
M5?
might be a BMW,
I like
but
a
I don't
chip.
know.
Well, it's also a very exciting computer chip. But
yeah.
Like,
so anyway, she killed Sirius Black. Where were we?
I mean, just the amount of vulnerability she showed in that interview that I think helped a lot of women. And the way that it was extracted from her was, oh my God, just she was being punched down from every single angle.
I thought she conducted herself so like I say, Billy and I watched that whole thing. I'm not sure how this will get us back to handwriting, but Billy and I did watch that whole thing. It's a wonderful, it really is like a historic piece of media, especially if you can develop the breadth of context to understand what that meant at the time. You can watch it now and go, oh yeah, that's Diana. But like if you watch it knowing what was known at the time, it was a very, very, very big deal that she did it, how she did it. But like, and this is not the kind of thing I dote about, but I did have a satisfying moment. I shouldn't say, but had a satisfying moment with my kid who's watched more of The Crown than he'd ever admit. But we were watching that because we'd watched some Diana stuff from that season, and I finally went and I found the original royal family movie from the 60s, which is I think on YouTube still, and I found the full Panorama Martin Bashir interview. But there's a moment like very early in the interview where there was Diana responding at length to something, and a pause, and I turned to Billy right as he was turning to me, and I went, huh? And we both knew exactly what we were talking about. You cannot, if you don't have much awareness of Princess Diana and like her being a huge part of the world for those years, it's difficult to appreciate how deftly Elizabeth Debicki has completely nailed down the way that she acted, talked, moved, walked, dressed, everything. And that little thing that she does, kind of like the guy on SNL UK, that kind of like that like slightly coquettish, I'm done talking now expression where she brings her chin down a little bit. Debicki fucking nailed that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think this is true for a lot of people my age. We knew what it meant when Princess Diana died more than we understood what a tragedy 9/11 was, because she in America was upheld even then as like, God, aren't they being terrible to
Well, I mean,
her?
for
And
one way to put it is like, there's all this little bits of things we saw. We saw her walking around with the landmines and hugging kids with AIDS
yeah.
and doing all this stuff that was really anathema to a lot of Midwestern people at the time. And I think if you were going to put it really dumb, you might say something like, "We all knew she was the good one, and that's the one they
Yep.
got rid of."
Yep.
And part of what makes her such a great, like, kind of, to me anyway, from afar, queer icon, is she slots in so well with the way so many queer icons were treated while they were alive. We were like, how could you do that to her or him? Like, how could you treat that, knowing what you know about that person and how they are and their sensitivities and their vulnerabilities and how unendingly they gave to the world, whether that's Marilyn Monroe or Judy Garland or Truman Capote or whoever, maybe not Truman Capote, but like that she gave and gave and gave and gave and gave. And she's like, and it really comes through. She's like, I want people who need love to get love. And it's kind of hard not to really feel for that person, even though I think she really loved the limelight. She wanted to dance to Uptown Girl. And that made Charles very sad.
And there's nothing, and I mean, you sort of mentioned this, but along with, I think part of, I don't want to say her queerness, but the reason also she is beloved is when she was going around with those like AIDS patients, it was. I mean, she knew that those people wanted love, and she did not it wasn't that she didn't just understand like them and their lifestyle or whatever. We did not, I was not alive yet for this, but no one really understood what the fuck was going on with AIDS. And so it was also like, you're putting
the
yourself
doctor
in
sets
harm's way for
that
the
up well
camera.
in that scene. Like, these are kids like who basically their parents were born with addictions or were born with like terrible, terrible, terrible problems. And she, at least in the story of The Crown, which is what we'll be discussing here because I wasn't there, but like her like leaning in and just giving that kid a hug without giving it half a thought was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
That she was there and showing up, and she says as much, at least in the show, and I think in life, is like she needs to give that love. She needs to get that love. And like two of my favorite scenes in The Crown with Diana, there's obviously the one we've talked about a lot from what might be the greatest episode of the show. I'm increasingly coming to believe the one with Mumu and with Sydney where they meet and go to the Derby together. You Must Call Me Mumu, that episode.
Yeah,
her relationship with Muhammad, even in that little quick scene, tells you like, oh, I have to come and sit here. You're stuck with me. That kind of stuff. There's that scene, but also the scene where her acupuncturist's husband. This sounds obscure, but there's a scene a few years later where her acupuncturist's husband is being rushed in for like heart surgery. And it's seems like such a great encapsulation of Diana because she's like, I'm coming with you. I'm going with you to the hospital. But she's also like checking out the doctor and like kind of going, he seems like kind of dishy. It's just that those scenes capture what we loved about Diana, which was she wasn't like a ragdoll. She wasn't a fucking ding-a-ling. She had things that she wanted in life. It's just that like, perhaps like Judy Garland or Marilyn Monroe or people in some ways, like she showed us a lot of the just under the surface stuff that a lot of us feel. And I think when you see that kind of person, whether you're being pushed around by Louis B. Mayer or Martin Charteris, like you still can't help but feel for that person who's getting bounced around like a pinball in the system. The very first one when she moves to Buckingham Palace and her life starts becoming horrible. The way they treat her, they basically treat her like, I don't know. I'd like some kind of like off-market clay that needs to be increasingly shaped into a form that Philip and Lilibet can live with.
Really.
Hi, welcome to Do by Friday. It's a weekly challenge podcast about The Crown.
This does have to do with handwriting. Well,
no, I was making a funny joke because I like talking about The Crown is all.
I like talking about Princess Diana a lot because she appeared in not one but two classes about queer hiry. Wow. And
she's already dead at that point.
She was.
You don't get in a class about queer
dead.
history when you're alive.
Well, not true.
Spell your name in lowercase, you might, but I think people. but people who are part of the aristocracy. You know, she's not even an HRH anymore. There are lines that appear in both the movie The Queen and The Crown, and one of those is Philip saying she's not even an HRH anymore.
That I didn't know that was. Wait, was that part of the phone call? Merlin, what was the phone call, which is something
in that
I did
instance,
not
it was
know about?
in the case of the movie The Queen, which I really like. It's got my boy Michael Sheen in it. It was about like the kind of public mourning. It's like, it's not like the Queen had learned enough from Aberfan. No. We got to come back 30 years later and make the same fucking mistakes of like, oh, why would I want to comfort the people who like this dead person way more than us? Like, oh, that would be so like undignified for me to like, you can't lower the flag. The flag is not about her. The flag is about whether the Queen slept here tonight. You can't lower that flag. It's not about Diana. But I think the people on the streets, the people on streets, they wanted to be comforted. They wanted, like with Aberfan, they wanted her to get out there and like make them feel better, but also to acknowledge. And now I'm going to be talking queer icon stuff because now I sound like people who said this about Judy Garland in the 80s, but like, you know, God, show some fucking respect. Not just respect for her, which you rarely did, but show some respect for us. We've telegraphed to you that this person is important to us. And the more you refuse to acknowledge her importance to us and ultimately to you, the more you dig yourself into an untenable situation. I understand you need to strike a balance. You need to be the crown. You need to be the head of the Anglican Church. Like, you need to be all these things. But on the other hand, like, you also can't be a piece of shit for someone you like personally ruined while you were renovating a boat.
I still don't know how much of the British public, I suppose, actually felt that and how much they wanted that respect for her, or rather they didn't have respect. They had some
versus the
empathy.
people who thought she was disloyal and immature.
Yes, who were very loyal to the crown because across the pond, like
Loyal to I mean, like we're saying that because
her.
the crown is a, god damn it, I learned this in 8th grade and I still never remember it. I don't know if it's a metonymy or a synecdoche, but we keep saying the crown because that's the name of the show. But when we refer to the crown, the whole point of the show is the crown means at least 3 different things on that TV show. You won't care if you don't care, but you might care if you do, which means it refers to the crown that is that the monarch wears on their head. But the crown also means the person wearing the crown. And the crown also means the institution that encompasses running the Commonwealth, running the church, like doing all of those things, being that figurehead, being the person, as we see season after season, in whose name a government is formed after a democratic election. How fucking crazy is that, right? The crown can mean so many different things. I think a lot of people just fucking love the Queen. They may hate. I mean, I always felt like I got this a little bit like from people like Mike Hurley, where it's like, yeah, no, I know this system's a little unusual, but everybody likes the Queen. People don't hate the Queen. You know what I mean?
Even in that
Kind of like Joe Stalin in some ways, really.
That's an interesting comparison. But yeah,
Well, that's why they call it a cult of personality. They don't call it that because you lack personality.
yeah, there are plenty of. The
purge all
reason
the
I say
doctors.
that is because there's a lot of people my age who like don't really remember Diana at that time because she just wasn't really discussed in their more conservative households. Like, it wasn't, it's not like their parents were political, like super political or everything, but it's like, well, I mean, it's the Queen. How could some woman do that to the Queen? So when she died, it's like, wow, that's so, as someone so close to the royal family,
There's a phrase.
crazy.
There's a
Where in
phrase.
America, it was like she was our girl. Like, it was because she was.
Like how could you treat the good one that way? There's a phrase I heard a lot growing up that you'll still hear, but now people say it with a kind of like derision and to like show how stupid religious people of faith are. But it's a phrase people did use, which is people would say, "God said it, I believed it. God said it, I believe it. That settles it." And I think that is a kind of, and I mean, whether you agree with that or not, or believe it happened or not, fine. I can't find you an Instagram reel about it, but that is something that people used to say, and it had an impact. And I think a similar thing happened with the royal family, which is like, that's the whole fucking point of the royal family. Like, is this your first day? How did you miss the fact that this is our country? Like, the crown is England. You know, they're very big on these kinds of things, you know, like the way that Aubrey talks about, you know, the surprise in Master and Commander being, we are England. This our wooden world on which we live. Like, and wooden world means so much because it encompasses the history and the discipline and the honor of the Navy. But it's also a way of saying when we go up against Old Boney, like this wooden world could be all that stands between us and terrible things happening to our family back home. And and you go like, well, you know, you've got to stand by. Maybe it's the devil, you know, but I think there are a lot of people that, I mean, I'm saying this about English people and making speculations when it's not difficult at all to find tons of examples of this even today, some of which we may not want to talk about, which is there are instances even in America today where, I don't know, probably something exceeding 20% of the population would say, I don't like what this person is doing, but they are in charge and I do support them.
Mm-hmm. And
it's also a pretty popular thought in the 30s in Europe.
I'm told. Seem like that. Oh, God. Handwriting or Hitler? Which direction You're
the one who had a lot to say about it. I want to give you the opportunity, increasingly, hopefully, with fewer interruptions from me, to talk about handwriting or whatever. Because you sounded like, and you were posting things on the internet about this. You have follow-up, so I want to give you a chance to make sure to talk about that.
No, I think for a lot of people, handwriting is now a form of vulnerability because,
handwriting is a form of vulnerability. I'd love to hear more about that.
The moment we were able to turn in our homework assignments typed and not handwritten was like, oh God,
typed on a computer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just it was a huge difference. And at the time I didn't realize.
But also, I'm sorry, also she made a big difference from a typewriter.
It was
not particularly freeing to use a typewriter, but I take your point.
Yeah, I mean, well, because it
takes the anonymity. I mean, you're not going to see like my crazy manic scratchings and corrections and like you don't see. I'm vulnerable in the sense of like if you show somebody your handwriting, you might as well show them a picture of your bathroom. People are going to like draw conclusions about you based on well, your handwriting is crazy or whatever.
People would base conclusions in a lot of cases, also your gender or sexuality based on your handwriting. So that was always a big self-conscious.
You got to stop putting lollipops on your eyes.
A very.
You put hearts on your eyes?
I was going to say a well-meaning friend.
They put stones on your eyes. But lollipops on your eyes. That's the thing lots of assigned girl at birth people did when they were girls. I thought as a child, I acted as a child, but now I've set aside lollipop things. Continue.
A well-meaning friend in 7th grade said it would help if you put hearts on your eyes. So that's a thing that I tried to do for a while. But also, I'm not very good at drawing hearts. Just like my handwriting is terrible.
How can you be a millennial? How do you do that thing with your hands? You make a heart.
What thing with my hands?
Oh, the thing where you make a heart with your hands and say, I love that for you. I just watched an episode of Love Island.
Many millennials.
Okay. Sorry, did I not see the final episode of Love Island USA? Well, what am I confused about?
I
need to learn a lot more about what the word cute
haven't...
means to people under 40.
I'm not. I truly am not familiar with the term or the show Love Island.
I truly am not. That should not be. Don't put that in the court files because I am a millennial who does not know that. I don't know. I've never seen anyone do hearts with their hands like they always did during COVID. That Merlin hates and has said several times on the show. People should stop doing. I don't know what that means.
I know what that means. I just can't remember. I can't remember like a specific genre or like demographic.
And so seventh grade, this person was trying to be helpful and saying like you would come off a little more feminine if you.
Oh, just
hardened
like your handwriting, you'd look more girly, and like people would take your handwriting, like they wouldn't confuse it with the boys. But when we could type things on a computer and print them out, it was like, okay. Also, you don't need to use whiteout to fix spelling
exactly.
errors.
Yeah, we're all just one big pile of Courier 12.
It was it was wonderful, and I spent like God. I didn't mind handwriting on like the because you can't type things out or could not type things out when you're doing like the Blue Book tests for
let alone notes in class.
Yeah,
you probably didn't have like a laptop or a Newton or something, right?
Towards the end, we had laptops, but the
end.
That's the end.
As the end came.
And
it's a Cormac McCarthy novel about computers. But it's nice because it takes you out, because now you aren't your handwriting. You're not as vulnerable. You're just a pile of Courier.
And I was like, okay, finally, and this actually was true of like it became such an issue with grading things in my school that eventually teachers would grade things without people's names on it, and then they would be returned with when it was when they were typed. But then the issue now that I realize is, it was an option for a while that you could turn in your homework and your essays and stuff if you typed it at home and printed it out. But then it was also, you have a computer that you have and you can use. And I did not even think about that until this week, because there were plenty of signifiers.
Are you still on a family computer at that point?
No. I was very lucky, and I had a computer when I was 12.
I understand. I'm not asking you to make some kind of like public declaration about privilege.
No, but
I'm just saying,
I think that that's part of it. Is
you were on OS 10, so you had ability for there to be multiple users. You understand the question I'm asking. You had your own. You didn't have to go sit, for example, in a room near where somebody was cooking to use a computer that the whole family used. Correct?
Well, yeah, you had time and the ability to use.
So you had your own computer, yes?
Yes.
That's so much better than, that's another level abstracted from the vulnerability in some ways, because nobody sees you. I was just, doesn't matter, but I was telling my kid about Annie Lamott and Shitty First Drafts and how much that's helped me. That ability for people to not only not see your handwriting, but in that case, not see you making the final cake that you're about to present, right? You get to go behind, it's, if you like, backstage rather than on stage. Backstage, you're preparing this thing that hasn't been printed yet, and you don't have to be in the room where people are cooking while that's happening, and that changes the way you approach that project. It has to.
Mm-hmm. I turned off automatic spell check in the app drafts a while back, because it just ends up being distracting to me, because then I'm thinking about that little squiggly line and what an idiot I am for not being able to spell that word, and that is basically,
even though that's really, even though in your head you logically realize that's not what this is for. Like, this is not the opportunity for me to get better at spelling. It's the opportunity for me to dump this part of my brain onto this area.
Yes, and it becomes, I become a 9-year-old again of like, oh my God, am I going to need to fucking take out the whiteout? I fucking hate this. Whereas, just puking something out in TextEdit, this, again, when I was a kid, just throwing things into TextEdit before it went into AppleWorks, wonderful time. The thing with handwriting that I like, it wasn't then necessarily like growing up. I wasn't then like, oh God, I hate writing and I hate putting or like physically handwriting things. And I just avoided it whenever possible. Wasn't a big, we've done like bullet journal challenges in fact here. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't get it. You guys do you. I'm not a fan. But whenever I do write something, which has been a lot the past 2 weeks, it's almost I think been at least visually, it was the opposite for me, which is when I was just writing things to actually get things, not actually get things done. When I was like, oh, I'm going to go do this thing and just reflexively write down this list, or write down what I think of this project or whatever. It's my shitty handwriting that I know and despise, that no one can read. But when I do, like, this is, I think, kind of obvious to a lot of people who do handwrite a lot of things. Slowing down, though, and being like, okay, I want to actually think about this. It just, I was like, oh, this looks a lot better. And then it became, instead of, I was like, I'm going to leave some insane Post-it notes for Matt.
But
like,
okay, hang on though, real quick. Sorry, I love this. Did it, am I projecting or inferring? Did as you, for example, however you got to this, you decided to slow down a little bit and try harder and make it neater, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did that? Well, okay. What did you change? Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was not really a conscious
I'm trying to ask if it changed the
thing.
way you thought as you were writing.
Yes, and I didn't notice that I was thinking in a different way. I was not thinking about how I was thinking until I was reading stuff later too.
Really?
Like,
Huh.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I was just.
I mean, I noticed it in the exact moment. If I say to myself something, see also last week, as arbitrarily useless as, hey, let's try writing about 20% slower, I instantly notice something changes about the way those railroad cars are kind of hooked together in my mind and how it transfers to my right hand. I notice a big difference as that's why I said that. I don't disbelieve you. I'm just saying, like, I notice the difference immediately in like the lucidity of what I'm doing if I slow down just a little bit. Same for writing with a fountain pen on toothy paper rather than shiny Japanese paper with a tool pen. Even that, you can get to fetishistically pornographic about those distinctions, and yet I do believe there's a difference in what my brain decides to make based on how it feels as it touches the page and how my cognition as I'm thinking about it. But you noticed it when you were looking at it later. That's fascinating.
Yeah, from this guy named Merlin Mann, there was a photo you posted of a journal that at some point said the first page is not profound, and that still goes in the front on the first page of all of my
so
field.
close.
What is?
Oh, it's just the exact opposite of that.
Well, it's the first page is profound.
Yes.
Sorry, but I write the first page is not profound
Okay.
because I'm not as funny as you, and it is like
the way you
when
pick
I
compliments is so difficult to understand. First of all, you refer to me in the third person like I'm dead. Then you said the opposite of what I
You
said.
refer to Max in the third person like he's dead, and I'm like, did I miss something? And it's always funny to me.
How would you?
Not in-
Would you? Should I? Let me ask you a couple other options. Would you prefer that I refer to Max in the first or second person? Because I could do that, but I think you would find that confusing.
I think in the
by
second
you I mean
person.
Max.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Would be
They just
fun.
the words just kind of come out, don't
Oh,
they?
that would be
The words just
fun.
kind of come out without really thinking what the words mean.
If I was writing this,
You'd find out later.
exactly. There were so many unfinished journals from grade school because it was a nice journal that I went and spent my hard-earned lemonade money on, and it wasn't. I didn't sell lemonade. I
And you
actually
didn't
worked
try
at a
that hard, so.
concession stand. No, I tried
I think you
really
come from
hard.
generational lemonade money.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
There's So, and it wasn't even it wasn't even so much a discipline thing or well, it was also I would not write thing. I was like, oh God, someone is going to
Absolutely. I mean, it's like
this.
keeping your poop.
Yes,
Or like keeping your worst poops. It's like you flush away all the good poops, but then you keep the really weird poops for like 3 years, and you're like, I hope nobody ever finds these. They'll think it's weird I kept my poop.
Yeah,
And you're like, why'd you keep your poop? And you're like, I don't know. At the time, it seemed like something I should do.
I thought you'd like it if you
thought
found it.
You should have burned it. And the lock on my diary was not very performant.
It's
Lockpicking lawyer.
he in the
Words.
You know, for
Word
generational
comes out.
lemonade.
Then I figure
Words,
it out. Word comes out. And then the word has meaning eventually when I figure out what it meant or not. Or profound or not.
This is why I don't even when there's whenever like there's a fun I like
It's just like listening to somebody who's been in a skydiving disaster explain how planes operate. It's just you're just a bloody pile on the ground covered in silk, going like I could have gotten off. Oh, should no, don't hate it.
Now that whenever I write things now,
Yeah.
it is it's just meant to be thrown away after I've looked at it again because it's just for at most one day of reference, with the exception of the past 2 weeks where I'm like, okay, I am going to this list. I'm actually going to need to look at it tomorrow and understand what's going on.
For what? What's different?
As I was, instead of like when I write, oh boy, instead of
it's for the challenge, you mean?
For the challenge,
okay.
I was like, okay, I am going to.
So you made a list for the challenge.
When I noticed, that's when I noticed.
I try so hard.
When I noticed that, oh, my handwriting is different, and
yes.
it's slowing down so that I can actually understand what I wrote 2 days ago. I was like, I was being really mindful when I was writing this, and it really clicked. Like the first time I noticed was when I went back 2 pages to find a list of people I made that I needed to reach out to for a thing. And I needed to email them. And the list of people I needed to email was written in just... It was better than handwriting I've had since I was like 12. Because as I was writing that list, a lot of these people I have not talked to in a while, and I was just really thinking about them as I was writing their name, and I did not realize that I was also just making it super, not even just super legible, but just more personal, I suppose. Like, it wasn't just...
But like a basic one, Alex, you're more aware of the
Yes.
process of making legible handwriting for whatever reason, right? You're more aware of that than you would normally be, yeah?
Yeah, but
I mean, before you get to
being
causes, like that's kind of the thing, right? You're like, this is, you noticed, right? You notice I'm doing this differently than I normally do. Yes.
Yeah, but when I went back and looked at it, it wasn't legible in the way that when I need to handwrite something like "Dear Grandma" on a card.
I've been holding this one in reserve. Greeting cards are where it all falls apart for me.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas that, I'm like, I'm really trying, but I'm not actually thinking. I'm not thinking about what I'm writing. I'm thinking about trying to make something look good. Whereas this,
I'm primarily thinking step 0. I'm thinking about don't ruin the card.
Yes, that as well. I'm like, I spent $4 on this. I really want to get it right.
Honey, I'm talking about like, you ever work in an office and they pass the card around? And you're like one of the last people to sign it. There's not many spaces left, which is nice because then it tells you a lot about how much room you've got. And I prefer to write short things personally. But my thing. I want to be the one who's the last one to sign the card. And I said I misspelled the word right or something. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh God, I'm such like, you know what I mean? That kind of like, let alone the like emotional weight of like, I hope I don't make Janice sad with how I signed this.
Yes. And As you say, sometimes an email is a way to say I love you, which I also like because the whole handwritten letter thing has just never worked for me because of the hangups I just have about handwriting and spelling.
It's a different
'Cause I'm
angle
like,
than I took, but I like it.
oh, well, because yes, Janice is
My
going to be
angle is
like,
my angle is don't get mad about an email that might actually just be someone trying to say I love you.
yes, there are so many angles.
Thank
All
you.
of the angles come back to IMAP and pop. The now that I can understand if people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
We're talking about two
Yes,
old forms of email protocol that don't really
yes.
have anything to do with it. But there are words, Those are two
They're
words, I
yeah
know those now.
related to email. I believe they're not anagram abbreviations, but
Anagrams, anagram
not
abbreviations,
I know it's not an anagram.
backronym,
I just
reverse
like
chronology. Tommy Lassels,
I like the name
Ghislaine
reverse.
Tassels.
Reverse. I can't say it, but I like that word.
Yeah,
And
so it's true though. It's complicated.
do you? It just made me think about how I type more. Actually, like as now as I am typing things the past few days. I don't know. It makes me just more mindful of when I am, I suppose, it's like it's like the self-awareness. It's hard to be mindful, actually mindful, when you are trying to. It's like, yes, I'm going to write this thing because I want to have this person think that I care about them a lot, and I'm trying really hard to make them feel a certain emotion. Whereas what I should be doing is just trying to express however I am feeling in that moment, and that is doing it via handwriting. And when I was not even intentionally slowing down for a specific purpose, it adjusts your brain in a way, like I knew it would change how I think, but I did not expect it to change in a way that was so helpful and in a way that I would have never
Oh,
expected.
isn't that neat when that happens?
Yes.
Yeah.
You handwrite things a lot though, yes?
No. But I do find, to your point though, I do think, yeah, it's, God gives us a bastic, and we can fill our bastic whatever we want with whatever we want, And I think these are the kinds of little things that actually end up being really interesting if you keep your heart open to them being interesting. The thing I always have trouble, like in all of my blithering and blathering, the thing I'm having trouble articulating, I don't mean this as like practical advice, and I don't mean this as, I'm not trying to be all up in the trees about it, but it's difficult for me to describe how, if I slow down and try to write more neatly, I keep thinking of it as almost like train cars, which I know is not an apt comparison. But like if I just go, like we're talking right now, and I keep a notebook to my right because I'm right-handed, and it's got a pen and there's a notebook, and I can just write something down because I don't want to have to go on the computer and da-da-da-da. So I write down something like pile of courier, or I write down generational lemonade money, right? And that needs to be just legible enough so that when I look at it later, I'll know what it means. But if I were going to try to write down, like regardless of my intention, the point I'm struggling to make is that if I slow down a little bit and try hard, an interesting thing happens. Here's an obvious, maybe not obvious. Here's to me an interesting way to put it. If I just scribble as fast as I can to make shapes that approximate the words I think are in my head, it's fine. It really is fine most of the time. But an interesting thing happens if I slow down a little bit. Like if I find the right velocity, even if it's just something trivial, it's 3 words long, doesn't matter. I'm not talking about like writing a novel or a nonfiction book. I'm talking about just jotting things down. Even if I slow down just a little bit, I don't know how to put it more plainly than this. It gives my hand and my brain time to catch up and work out some kind of a relationship with each other, where my hand has the confidence to keep moving at a pace that is appropriate for how fast I want my brain to be moving. And sometimes my brain needs to slow the fuck down a little bit. And by giving it that somewhat artificial constraint of try to write more neatly and, just print, with a pen, it slightly compresses how much thought is going to come out and buys me an extra, I don't even know how long, quarter of a second, half second, 2 seconds, I don't know. Buys me just a little bit more time for my brain to mull it over before it's on the page. Right? It's almost like it's starting to like type in my brain and then it comes out through does that make sense? And that slowing down and that compression can sometimes improve the quality of thought. Because instead of seeing this as like who can masturbate the fastest, it becomes more of like, no, let's treat this more like a first draft of something that's important. And it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be pretty, but it's not about who finishes first. It's because like if I always treat it that way, then that's going to then eventually could become an outlet that doesn't produce a lot of long-lived interest. It can't or won't produce a lot of long-lived and interesting stuff. It's nice to know that the option is always there in my toolbox to say, one of your tools in your toolbox is to slow down a little bit at almost everything, including handwriting, and that is one thing you could choose to try in your toolbox that's very low commitment, very non-harmful, that like might give you an opportunity to get your brain and your hand moving, at something like a useful speed together. Even though they may not be sitting in the same train car, they're both on the same track.
That could be a good place to end, unless you have more.
Well, I always got more. That's my problem.
Well, then...
But then if I ding us out on a part that's serious, doesn't that make people sad?
It's not... I don't think that, but that's a really good... That's a very good point. And I mean, I could like...
Because it's a satisfying metaphor.
It is very satisfying. And I do think that it's also an interesting tool to inspect because with Annie Lamont's shitty first draft, I think she specifically talks about physically writing something out and just not stopping, which is sometimes what I need to do, even when it is.
That's very writing down the bones. But yes, I think she is.
Oh, is it?
Well, no. They're not incompatible. They're literally back to front, like in a pile at my house right now. Those are two of the biggies for me. Those are 2 of the 5 biggies for me.
Writing down the bones, bird by bird. On writing.
I don't know. I don't know.
Strunken.
See, now, if I were good at podcasting, I'd use this as a way to make money. And I would find a way to, say to people, like, if you want to find out the 5 secret books that made me a failed writer so successfully, stay tuned. Be sure to check us out. We got all kinds of different levels on Patreon. Don't worry, the site's hard to use for everybody. You think the site's hard to use for you? Believe me, buddy, it's hard for me to use too. And I don't even use it.
It's great. Amazing.
I don't know about the app. I only use the web, but because I would never use my phone for something like that. But it's very difficult to use. I don't even listen to Trash Theory stuff early because I don't like interacting with the app. I go to the website, I post a thing, and then it tells you about new features.
Yeah.
Special
Thank
offers.
You when people put it on YouTube. I love when people put their
It's amazing you can take such a simple idea for a business and turn it into something so fucking stupid. It's such a brilliant, in the same way that PayPal, say what you will, but PayPal is a brilliant solution for something that's a simple desire to solve a complex problem. I want to be able to send small amounts of money on the internet, right? That was hard to do. And in this instance, I would like to be able to receive small amounts of money in return for people who like my stuff. And all you really have to do is say, here's how to make a bucket where money goes. And then we take some of that money and everything else is just easy. And yet it becomes more hostile every week or so. Doesn't it? I mean, I'm not the only one, right? I don't know anybody who loves using the Patreon site.
No, nobody does except the one person.
The girl from Pomplamoose who looks sideways.
She's got to
be rich
husband,
like Jesus now.
You
don't think she got any money from Patreon?
Well, her husband, I mean, yes, but she doesn't, she's not the day to day as far as I know.
I'll ask it again then. So she never got any money from Patreon, you think?
I don't know.
Gotta do a Pomplamoose reunion. Pomplamoose. It's also a kind of LaCroix, or as you say, LaCroix. Natalie, she looks sideways. She always looks sideways.
LaCroix is not
one of the Great Lakes.
It's not French. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
And it's not LaCroix.
Superior, Huron, LaCroix, Michigan,
Michigan,
Omaha, Utah, Sword,
one.
Juneau.
June. That's a movie.
Can you name all the 5 beaches on D-Day? Excuse me.
Those were 2 movies are great.
You're so into you're so into D-Day. And then name the 5 main beaches. So fucking funny. Like, something that's been funny forever. One of those dumb guy things is I don't speak French, but like I remember when I'm first hearing about the Cannes Film Festival, and people talk about the Cannes Film Festival, and then there were people who heard about the Cannes Film Festival, and they and you actually did have a couple 3 years of French, right? Yes.
No Spanish. No.
Oh, you never had French at all? I thought because of your flute. Okay. Let's just never mind. This is stupid, but it's just funny because there are people out there who will always refer to the film festival as Cannes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which is spelled Cannes, and they always say the Cannes Film Festival. And I'm not going to look it up. The thing I've always said is, I think it might be pronounced Cannes, like in French, but like not exactly the same way we pronounce it in English, but I think it's pronounced Cannes. And what's funny is there's this another city in France that became very important in the time after D-Day. And in fact, there's, a whole episode of Band of Brothers about where, like, as they were trying to sweep east, so they'd gotten the success, they were having this larger and larger 60 kilometer wide, thing. They're trying to move east. They're going to like try and liberate all of France, and it goes pretty well. And one of the major things is they have to get to a city northeast of where the Normandy invasion was, right? And there's a city, a 4-letter named city there that is critical because that's the big, in the same way that I guess the English side of the Channel was the staging area for D-Day. There's this town where a bunch of the German stuff and Axis stuff is staged to defend, France, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got the film festival, Cannes, and then on this one I'm trusting Laurence Olivier from 1972 and his pronunciation, but that city is spelled Caen, and the way that they pronounce it, that Laurence Olivier pronounces it in the documentary I like, and in the way they pronounce it in Band of Brothers. Can I say how Caen is pronounced?
Please.
Do you want to guess? Let's start with this. That film festival, Cannes. Can you guess how Caen is pronounced?
Cannes.
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 And because that's how you actually, when you say Cannes, I think when you say Cannes en français, I think you're pronouncing it in the same way as the city spelled Caen. And I just think that's funny because there are still people today who use pronunciation as both a sword and a shield.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sword and Juno, those are beaches that the Canadians and the British landed on. We had Omaha, and what do we have? We had Omaha and Utah, I think. Omaha is the Saving Private Ryan one.
They're all
great beaches.
They're all great beaches. Love a good beach. I'm glad they got out of Dunkirk.
I could see never wanting to go to the beach again.
There.
After you and Tom Hanks have gone to Omaha Beach, I could see how you'd never want to go to the beach again. It also occurred to me that Tom Hardy's character in Dunkirk almost certainly died in a German prisoner of war camp.
Yeah, right.
Because that was so early in the war. That was Dunkirk. I mean, there's a reason Dunkirk was a big deal. That was, 1940, 41? But, like, they lost so much of their equipment on Dunkirk.
Because there are two done, one obviously much more famous than another, I didn't realize how early it was.
Is Dunkirk a neighborhood in Chicago or something? What's the second one?
No, it's there were two big-ish battles, which I only found out because of I got confused during a documentary, shocker. And I'm like, wait, but that 40, 45? What?
You know, it's got 3 different time scales in it. A lot of people don't know
that. Wait, what? Hold on. What?
Oh, Dunkirk, the movie Dunkirk has 3 different time scales happening.
Oh, yes.
Did you know that? Not a lot of people know that. We should know it.
A lot of people don't like Tenet,
tweet.
and so they're
Tenet spelled the same forwards and backwards.
It's not
all I have for you, like I says to him, all I have for you was a word. All I have for you is the word Tenet. What about the trinket on the backpack? La la la.
He was the only one who asked to read the script. The only one.
Christopher Nolan.
Robert Pattinson was the only actor who asked to read the script.
And the other ones had it read to them?
Nope, they said yes as soon as they were asked.
Oh, I see.
And Robert Pattinson said, "Oh, and can I read it?" Which is just.
You think the trinket on the backpack was already in there at that point? What about
Yes.
what about Debicki? You think Debicki was already in it? What about Debicki? What about Debicki? What about Debicki? And what about when you see that lady jumping off the boat at the beginning? I think a lot of people can't be fucked to watch something, is my opinion. I think a lot of people think they don't like something.
Talking about Diana's both
about
in real
Debicki?
life and
Talking about Debicki.
character.
Talking about Debicki, who with the Russian oligarch husband, who makes bullets go backward. with magic.
He's destroying the whole world. He's a something.
I wouldn't say that. He had a very tough upbringing. He had to go. Like work at. He basically had to work at a Chernobyl garbage dump, and that's when he discovered he stole. Do you remember? Do you remember what happens in Tenet? Because I'll bet you don't. I bet you don't. I bet you don't know that he stole somebody else's identity and became the oligarch man. Because nobody can be fucked to watch a movie that long. I'm confused. I remember he was mad about movies. IMAX. I watched a really good. I watched a really good thing about IMAX. I learned so much about IMAX. There's a really good YouTube video about IMAX. I learned a lot about it.
I think I enjoy learning about. I know that I enjoy learning about IMAX more than watching IMAX because I've only had the chance to see it once.
There's only one facility in the Southern Hemisphere that will be able to show Christopher Nolan's new movie in its original format.
Yeah.
But I think the cynical person could look at that and go, see, what about me? What about the people? What about all the people who misunderstand the thing they'll never see? But maybe more importantly, they can still make it different sizes for other things. Just so you know, they're not. It's okay if they can make it into other sizes too. They'll eventually make it in a size you can watch on your TV, and it'll be okay. You'll eventually be able to watch it in the seat of a plane. It's just it just having that 70 millimeters though. It also changes even when it's on a normie. Get a pretty generous crop.
Yes, generous crop, and that mirror effect is
mirror. Who's mirror?
The mirror effect where
the mirror effect.
Oh, do you not know about Christopher Nolan's mirror trick?
I don't, but I would have to infer that it would involve two actors talking to each other through a mirror so they didn't have to change the setup, but I don't know what you're talking about. Continue.
I love the blimp. It's a big blimp.
They said by the time they were ready to deploy on May 5th, they said that at this point it's all the barrage blimps, like all the balloons they put up to keep planes from flying in. They say that's all holding up England at this point. I'll tell you what else is crazy.
Oh, God.
There's that terrible movie with that actor I like about D-Day weather that I just watched. D-Day weather. Hi, is this your first time dining at D-Day weathers?
It's a great commercial with
Andrew Scott. And what's cool is I watched an episode last night of The World at War, narrated by Sir Laurence Olivier, where they have a lot of interview time with the guy that Andrew Scott is playing, who is still alive at the time they made The World at War.
Oh, God, he was a baby doing what I assume was making
not 25 years.
All right.
27 years is not a baby make.
Okay, yeah, he was the age
mommy and daddy, or a jar. I keep seeing a headline in the New York Times, and it makes me angry. It's been there, I think, for 3 weeks now. They keep showing me recipes for their different kinds of glop. And they have a headline that I am forced to keep seeing, which says, I think the headline says, one ingredient, banana ice cream. And I think I have a pretty good guess what the one ingredient is.
Yeah.
I think the one ingredient is probably banana ice cream.
And this is a headline.
What does that mean, Alex? One ingredient, banana ice cream?
I don't know.
That's not really a recipe, is it?
No. That doesn't even
I mean, is it... Because... You know what I'm saying? It's like using the word definition to define the word definition.
Is it because it
is it?
Can you be a
no?
Can
you be?
You can be an ingredient,
yes.
But you can't be an ingredient and a recipe at the same time, can you? Like, is this I don't know.
You think it's a method?
I don't know.
Huh.
No.
Anyway, guys, slow down your writing. It's like a train.
like the trade metaphor. It's uplifting. It is thought provoking. Just like